No, 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 this can't be happening right now. David Wellington's voice echoed off the glass walls of his office on the 45th floor. He was pacing like a man on the edge, tie loosened, face flushed. Outside the window, 3 sleek black cars had just pulled up. The Chinese executives had arrived. A $200 million deal hung in the balance, and the translator had just canceled, 15 minutes before the most important meeting of his career. "I've called everyone," Rebecca, his assistant, said, frantically. "Every translator in the city is booked. Nobody can come on this short notice." David ran a hand through his hair. He had spent 20 years building Wellington Industries from scratch, and now it might all fall apart over a language barrier. The Chinese delegation wouldn't tolerate translation apps or last-minute fixes. They expected precision, respect, protocol. And then, "Excuse me, Mr. Wellington," a soft voice came from the corner of the room. It was Jasmine. She was holding a cleaning cloth, dressed in the standard navy blue janitor uniform. Her hands were still gloved. She had been wiping down the glass door when the chaos began. "I speak Mandarin, Fluent, also Cantonese, and a little Taiwanese." The room went silent. Rebecca let out a short laugh. "Jasmine, this isn't a game. We're about to walk into a multi-million-dollar international meeting." David turned and really looked at Jasmine, for the first time maybe ever. "You're serious?" he asked. Jasmine nodded. "I studied Oriental linguistics at Howard University. I had to leave during my 3rd year. Family reasons. But the knowledge stuck." Rebecca's face twisted. "You can't be serious, David. You're not going to put the entire deal in the hands of a janitor." But David's instincts were screaming. Something in Jasmine's calm voice, her steady eyes. He took a chance. "Say something in Mandarin," he ordered. Jasmine looked him in the eye and spoke fluently, her voice smooth, confident. Even without understanding, David could feel her authority. "What did you say?" "I welcome them and expressed hope for a successful partnership," she said simply. David made his decision. "You have 20 minutes. Get changed. Meet me in the conference room." Rebecca looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. "You've lost your mind." But David wasn't listening. He saw something in Jasmine that couldn't be ignored anymore. 20 minutes later, Jasmine walked into the boardroom, not in a uniform, but in a sleek black outfit borrowed from the receptionist, hair tied back, posture proud, holding a notepad like she belonged. And she did. The Chinese executives entered. David introduced her without mentioning her cleaning job. "This is Jasmine Parker, our international relations specialist." She greeted the guests in perfect Mandarin, complimenting their punctuality, a major sign of respect in their culture. Mr. Chun, the lead delegate, smiled with surprise and approval. For the next 20 minutes, Jasmine translated everything, every nuance, every joke, every pause. She didn't just speak the language, she understood it. She made the meeting flow like water. And that's when Rebecca couldn't stay quiet. She smiled sweetly. "Maybe we should tell our guests about Jasmine's unique path in our company." David's face tensed, but Rebecca kept going. "It's so inspiring, isn't it? From cleaner to boardroom, really shows how far anyone can go." Jasmine didn't flinch, but something inside her shifted. She smiled politely at the Chinese guests and said, "It's true. I used to clean this room for 3 years. And during that time, I learned more about business by watching and listening than some people learn with a title." There was an awkward silence. And then something changed. The Chinese delegations, polite but traditional, suddenly looked unsure. In their culture, hierarchy matters. The person doing the translating is assumed to be in charge, not a helper, not a cleaner. The energy of the room had shifted. Jasmine had gone from professional to curiosity. The deal, which was flowing so well, began to stall. That night, Jasmine sat in her small Brooklyn apartment. On her laptop was a file, one she had been working on for 2 years, a file named Wellington, Internal Irregularities. Emails, screenshots, audio logs, financial reports, dozens of documents showing misconduct by Rebecca, lying to clients, inflating costs, blocking promotions for employees of color, even sabotaging contracts led by black-owned companies. Jasmine hadn't just been a cleaner, she had been watching, listening, learning, and documenting. The next morning, her phone buzzed, a message in Mandarin. "Miss Parker, I would like to meet. We may have a proposal for you. Mr. Chun." The next day, Jasmine walked into Cafe Mandarin at 10 a.m. sharp, not in a borrowed outfit, but in a soft gray suit she had bought the night before, paid for with the signing bonus the Chinese executives had offered. Mr. Chun and Vice President Lisa Wong were already there. "We were impressed," Lisa said, "not just by your language, but your composure, your mind. We're expanding to North America," Mr. Chun added. "We need someone like you, someone who understands both cultures, who knows the game, and who doesn't bow to small people in big positions." They slid a card across the table. "Parker and Associates, International Strategy Consultant." Jasmine stared at it, heart pounding. "We'll start with something small," Lisa said. "A review of Wellington Industries' past contracts. We believe federal laws may have been violated." Jasmine didn't flinch. "I can help," she said calmly. The next morning, the boardroom was filled with tension. David had called an emergency meeting. Rebecca entered in a blazing red suit, confident and smug. "We're here to clean up a mess," she said. "A $200 million deal ruined by someone who shouldn't have been in the room." The door opened. Jasmine walked in. No uniform, no cleaning cart, just quiet authority and a laptop in her hands. "She's here because the Chinese specifically asked for her," David said. Rebecca scoffed. What could she possibly know about executive-level operations? Jasmine connected her laptop to the projector. The first email appeared. Rebecca sending confidential information to a client. Illegal sharing of competitor bids. The room went dead silent. Next slide shows altered budgets used to discredit minority-led projects. Rebecca turned pale. "This is a setup," she shouted. "No," Jasmine said softly. "This is what happens when you ignore the people you think are beneath you." She looked around the room. "For 3 years, I was invisible. And now? Now, I'm the one holding the truth." She had no title, no office, no recognition. But Jasmine Parker had something far more powerful: truth, patience, and a perfect sense of timing. The people who overlooked her had no idea they were training their greatest threat. And now, their silence would speak louder than any words. Sometimes the ones we ignore the most are the ones who've been watching the closest. Jasmine was never just a cleaner. She was a quiet storm, waiting for the right moment to rise. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Because true power isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers.